G'day, it's Michael here from Fishy McFishface. Today I'm going to show you Cudgen Creek, all the different snorkeling spots. It's a crystal clear, beautiful day this morning. I think it's going to be a real treat. So I'm just here at the steps right now, near the fish gutting station, where you'll often see a lot of bream swimming around there. I'll show you soon. I'm going to head out probably downstream a bit first to some bigger rocks. Some of the fish I'm looking for. There's apparently I've seen it once, a big estuary cod, rock cod that lives around here. So I'm going to have a look for that, look for some big puffer fish. And then along the rock walls, a lot of wrasse, like pearly wrasse. There'll be mullet, bream, flathead, all sorts of fish. So, and there's another one called a white-barred goby, which is a beautiful little fish that I've seen a lot here among the rocks. So hopefully I get to show you all of them today, but I'll give you a tour of the whole place so you can snorkel it yourself. See you in the water. So Cudgen Creek is probably the best beginner snorkeling location anywhere near Brisbane. It is New South Wales, but it's very close to the border, probably about an hour and a half drive from Brisbane. It recovers really well from weather like rain and even wind and swell. It's fairly protected. There's lots of people there. It's quite shallow, it doesn't get super deep, and you're always a short swim from being in a safe place. So yeah, if you're a beginner snorkeler, this is the place you want to go. So I'm just here near the boat ramp. I'll show you on the map soon, but yeah, you can see lots of bream and little stripy fish, some luderick, bait fish. Yeah, lots of the sort of fish you like to catch fishing here. I'm just near the start of the boardwalk. A few luderick near the boat ramp, but I'm going to head further down to some deeper rocks and see if I can find those puffer fish. Meanwhile, I almost stepped on that flathead, but yeah, you get some bigger flathead, and I did see a bigger one today, so stick around to see that in the video. I've got mullet. But yeah, the 3-barred porcupine fish is it's probably one of my favourite puffer fish. It's got this real goofy smile on it, so you'll see them at Cudgen Creek pretty often near these deeper rocks, and they're probably 3 to 5 meters deep. And this is heading upstream of the creek, so you need good visibility for this, but that's pretty common at Cudgen Creek. Alright, I've arrived at the rocks. It's a little bit of current, which is good, because I know I'm on the still going with the incoming tide. That'll swap around soon, and then I'll come back the other way. These are deep at these rocks, probably 3-4 meters deep, but there's some great fish down here. I'll show you them. So yeah, that current, you want to get into Cudgen Creek just before high tide, and then the current will still be pulling you towards the land, and then it'll change and pull you towards the sea, and that's when it starts to get a bit murky. So you want to get in just before high tide to enjoy the clear water. Here we go. We've got a type of bannerfish, and I think that's some type of banded scalyfin, juvenile banded scalyfin. I think speckled butterfly fish, the pale yellow and the stripy on the left. So amongst the rocks, essentially anytime you're snorkeling, if you see some rocks with crevices and places for fish to hide, you almost always see fish around them, because they don't really like to be out in the open so much. So these are the places you want to look. Now this one's a silver biddy, common silver biddy. This footage doesn't show it great, but often they'll actually swim and then stop exactly still on the water, even if there's a current. So they've got this amazing swimming ability to be completely still. Here's a threadfin butterfly fish. Looks like it had a nibble out of the top of its fin, but they're very common at Cudgen. I'm on the sort of midway through the boardwalk. There's a few more rocky areas, and I've seen some trevally here. I don't often see them here, which is pretty cool. Lots more fish to see. Yeah, this was a real treat today, because I haven't seen trevally in this estuary before. And I haven't seen this type either. I think these are golden trevally. Well, there's a bluefin there, and then the goldfin are the rest of them, and then some drummer, or silver drummer, I think those thicker ones are. But yeah, look at all those trevally. It's spectacular. I was like circled by them when I was in the water. So very cool.
I think I just found my pufferfish. I think he's under the little cave there, so I'm going to stick my camera in, have a little look.
So this particular spot, you'll see it soon, there's like a rocky overhang, and there's like a sort of like a mini cave underneath. Whenever I go snorkeling at Cudgen Creek, I like to check this particular spot out, because you often get a couple of interesting fish chilling out, including the 3-barred porcupine fish. And there's 2 of them. So I've got a few goatfish here. They've got like 2 little barbels on their chin. And some Moses snapper. And there's the goofy looking 3-barred porcupine fish. They're pretty cute. So here you might be thinking I'm holding my breath for a bit, but I've actually got my GoPro stick can turn into a tripod. So often I'll actually set it up if I want to get footage where a fish will swim closer, because of course there's no human behind it for them to be scared of. So I've set my tripod up, and yeah, you can see the fish come quite close.
Oh, that school of trevally, it's pretty cool. There's probably over 100 of them. No, I'm going to keep going. I'll be able to come back and enjoy them later. So I'm going to go to the end of the boardwalk just to show you what's there, and then I'll show you along the rock walls near the entrance.
So you probably noticed how strong the current was. Even though it's clear, you could see me drifting along past the boardwalk. So yeah, you got to be careful of the current at Cudgen. But if you go right on high tide or just before, I got in a bit early, which was why it was strong. But if you get in a bit, closer to high, it's pretty much dead still. There's some yellowtail barracuda, and this one's a type of triggerfish. I'm not quite sure what type. Put it in the comments if you know what species this is. But I actually saw a few triggerfish on this snorkel, which was pretty cool. Here we've got another bannerfish. It wasn't too keen to be filmed, so I didn't get the best footage, unfortunately. But they are very spectacular fish. And this is a very common stingray for Cudgen Creek, and really all across the east coast of Australia. I've seen these I think I've seen them in Sydney too. Blue spotted mask ray, I'm pretty sure, is the species. And they do have the stingers, and they'll show you the stingers if you get too close. They'll raise them up as they swim, but generally they're pretty good.
Got a little mask ray, very cool. You get more of them as you get further down to the boardwalk, but you got to be very careful you don't dive down and go over the top of one. They do have a barb.
So yeah, whenever you're around stingrays, just try and approach them gently, calmly. Don't swim over the top of them, of course. That's how you can get into some real trouble, and some people have been in some trouble with that before. You can see this one, I think it's actually feeding, and it's trying to look for things in the sand to eat, and of course all those little toadfish are keen to get some of the scraps. Now I slowed this right down. Another triggerfish, I believe. I don't know what species it is. Comment below in the video if you know this species. I'd love to know, but what a spectacular little creature. Now these guys, they're almost like eels. They're smooth flute mouths. You can see them in most places on the east coast.
So I'm near the end of the boardwalk now. Still a bit of current, but I want to turn back now so I still have clear water to see the other rock walls. So make my way back. I'll see if we find any other cool fish on the way.
So there is a little beach you can go to sort of finish that stretch, but it's usually just stingrays there and you don't really want to step on one, so I usually don't go that far anyway. So I'm tracking my way back along the rocky edges along the side. You can see here near the pontoons and near the boardwalk. And underneath some of the pontoons you do get more fish, so fish like a bit of cover. Of course it gives it protection from birds that might want to prey on them, so, but of course do be careful swimming, underneath anything that's above your head. Here's one of the bigger flathead. It's hard to judge the size when you're in the water, but I reckon that was probably 50 centimetres. And I just couldn't help but go back and spend some time with those trevally and fix my hair. Here we've got a lot of diamond fish. There's actually a large school of them closer to the ocean side as well, so you'll see them at the end. Now these guys, I've slowed it down so you can see them. They've got this spectacular scribbled pattern, but they're a type of rabbit fish. I imagine they're called rabbit fish because they nibble on algae. Here we've got a yellow boxfish, and they are the most spectacular, cute little fish when they're juvenile. They just look like a little blimp. When they get a bit older, they kind of go a bit more brown. There's some other fish in that crevice too. I'm not quite sure what they are, but they're a bit spiny looking, and they often just sit between the rocks. All over Cudgen Creek you can find them. They're everywhere. Now this little blue one, very common in many places on the east coast of Australia, especially the warmer waters, is the neon damsel. They're just a vibrant blue. They're one of my favourites. Now just to give you an idea, all of this water that I'm filming in here is actually quite shallow, so you don't have to dive down deep to see some of these fish at Cudgen Creek. You could literally film this from the surface in these particular areas, so you don't have to be able to dive deep to see cool fish. Here we've got a raccoon butterfly fish.
Little yellow boxfish down there. Hands down the cutest fish in the ocean. When they go mature, they get a bit bigger and they lose their bright yellow colour. But when they're small like that, they're just such bright orange yellow colours. It's spectacular. Alright, I'm going to see more of those little sort of fish, the very colourful ones up at the rock walls. Get there now. I'm at the final sort of rock at this section. I guess almost up to the boat ramp. I'm actually going to cross to the other side now. There's a little log over there which has some fish, and then follow that side of the sea, the Cudgen Creek wall, and then I'll cross over again to come back, just because it handles the current a bit better.
So you will face a bit of current when you're swimming across, especially if the tide's still changing. Won't be too bad if it's on high. And along the way, of course, have a look around the rocks and you might just see a triggerfish or something interesting. There's usually if there's a rock somewhere with a bit of shelter, there's usually a fish there. So again, I don't know if this is the same species I saw before, but if you know your triggerfish species, comment below and let me know what it is. Now this is it used to be quite a branched out log, but I think it sort of got all the branches knocked off when we had a cyclone hit southeast Queensland, Cyclone Alfred. So there's just a stump now, but still, it's a cool part of the creek with this little rock boulder area, and you get lots of fish that are chilling out in the caps. Now while this is playing, just take note at how clear the water is. There's a few little particles in the water, but it's very clear. And later in the video, I'll remind you to check the water too, and you'll see that as the day goes on, when the tide starts to change, the visibility will reduce. So that's what happens in an estuary.
Alright, I've made it to the start of the rock walk on this side of the creek. So you can see over there is the entrance to the car park. Usually I see pearly wrasse and Gunther's wrasse along here. So that's my target. I'm going to see if I can find them.
Now this stretch along here is, I actually think it's one of my favourite. I mean, I like all the spots at Cudgen Creek, but you get a lot of the wrasse species along this side of the creek, which is really nice. So there's a Gunther's wrasse. See, it's got the red and green, but it's got more of a diagonal striped pattern towards the tail. Pearly wrasse is very similar with colours, but it's more kind of spotted. I'll show you one soon. Now have a look at this thing. This wrasse here, I'll put the name of it on the screen for you because I can't think of it right now. But it's got like a little trigger thing on its head, and you can see it's almost like it's dancing around. And the Gunther's wrasse, you had to watch this, having a go at it. Such a spectacular pattern on that wrasse, isn't it? The stripes coming through the eyes. There are so many different wrasse species out there, and every one of them's got unique patterns and coloration. I think they've got to be one of my favourite types of fish. Now this is the pearly wrasse. Same red and green coloration. You can see that it's more of a checkered or spotted sort of pattern compared to the Gunther's wrasse, which has got the diagonal stripes. There's a Gunther's wrasse just behind it actually. There you go, you can see the difference between the two of them there.
How about that pearly wrasse and a Gunther's wrasse together? And that crazy looking one with the little trigger on top. Never seen it before.
Now this is one of the things I just love about snorkeling. Probably because I've snorkeled a lot now, I'd expect that I wouldn't see any new species. But very often, even in the same spots or places where there's not as much diversity, a brand new species I've never seen before. Well, other people have probably seen it, but you always get to see new things in the ocean. It's such a privilege to be able to enjoy God's creation in the ocean. Here we've got a black spot Toby. They've got these fantastic sort of iridescent cyan stripes and sort of outlines on them. And Tobies will often let you get quite close, like a lot of puffer fish. I'll just stare at you and curl their tail a little bit. Here we've got mangrove jack, and I saw quite a few of them on this day, and they are a fish that the fishermen like to target. I've heard they're quite a sporting fish when they're on the hook. Here is the white-barred goby. I couldn't get very close to it, this one was a bit shy, but you probably can't see it well here, but when the sunlight hits them right, you get these bright red and bright blue iridescent stripes and patterns and dots. I love these fish that look dull, and then when you see them in the right light, all their colours pop out.
Well, it started raining, but I don't care. I'm in the water and it's fantastic. Mangrove jack down there, and a little bit of a look at the white-barred goby, but it was a bit shy. Probably see more on the other side.
So when it comes to rain and snorkeling, usually if it rains the day before or it rains a lot, like, you know, enough so that dirt and dust gets picked up by the rain and gets run off down into the water, that's what makes the water visibility terrible. But if it's been no rain for a couple of days and it rains the day you go snorkeling, that's usually fine, because it takes a while for the rain to actually bring the runoff, all the dirt, into the water. So the visibility's fine. It's actually quite beautiful when it rains like that. Here we've got another one of those Toby fish. I think this one's a clown Toby. I'll put it on the screen if I got that wrong. And another puffer-like fish. Well, this one's a stars and stripes puffer. They're quite a light beige colour when they're young. They get a bit darker when they're older. But they're a cute little fish. Another masked stingray. Blue-spotted mask ray, I should say. And you can see already, now this isn't because of the rain, it's because the tide has started to change. You see the water's a bit more murky now. So that's the key. If you want to pick where you want to snorkel during the best times of the tide, because once it starts to change, wherever you are, it's going to be a little more murky. Now, for those who like identifying fish, I think this is a demoiselle type of fish, or damselfish, the little blue and yellow one just below. But if you know the species, I'd love to know, so comment below if you know that species. In the distance there, we'll have another look at the blue and yellow one. I think it's a juvenile scaly fin. I know there's some scaly fins fish that have that bright coloration, but it seems a little smaller, this one, so yeah, I'm not sure. This one's actually looks quite similar, but it's got dull colours. So I wonder if maybe it is a scaly fin, and that's sort of the late juvenile stage of it. But I'm not quite sure. So yeah, if you know, comment below. Here we've got a gold-spotted sweetlips. This is a fairly small one. You see much bigger ones at the Gold Coast Seaway, patrolling the deeper areas there.
Alright, probably at the end of the section before you get to the waves. You could go a bit further, but I like this spot. We're going to swim across along a little bit of a rocky section, and then I'll come along the other side of the wall where, to be honest, is actually a lot of the best stuff anyway. But it's already been a cracking day, so keen to see some more.
So yeah, I wouldn't go right to the end of the seawall, because then you might get the currents of the waves in the ocean. You don't want to get pulled out onto the Kingscliff reef. You want to stay inside the creek area, so don't go too far, especially if you're a beginner. You can see all these diamond fish everywhere, and this is pretty shallow too, probably only 2 meters deep. So eventually I made it to the other side, and this side you do get a bit more wave action.
Alright, I've made it. A few little waves, very gentle though. Now I'm going to swim along the rock wall to there's a little tiny beach that people like to swim at. I'm going to swim around that, and you just get so much wildlife on this side, so you're in for a treat.
So yeah, still pretty clear water, but the tide has started to turn here. So as the time goes on, you'll see the particles in the water start to thicken up a bit. It gets a bit more murky, but still pretty clear. So we've got lots of juvenile sergeant majors here. They've got the black bands with the yellow tinge at the top. And of course the brim, and a few whiting around as well. Now you might be wondering why I'm filming these rocks, and this is what I was looking for. These little, I think they call them rock skippers. They're quite interesting. They just sit on the rocks and they dart away when you get too close, but yeah, they're quite funny little fish to watch. But do be careful, see all the oysters on the rocks. I always wear gloves when I snorkel. And so if I ever get pushed by the surge of a wave onto oysters, and I put my hand out, I'm not going to get cut up because I've got gloves on. It's a good idea. This is I think it's an orange blotch surgeonfish. I saw the juvenile form about a year ago in Cudgen Creek. It was a bright yellow fish. So to see the adult version makes me wonder if it was the same fish when it was younger. That was pretty cool. So you can see all these rocks sort of on the tapering down towards the sandy area. That's what the whole stretch between the fish gutting station and the little beach is like. And these little rocks provide lots of little places for the fish to be sheltered and to enjoy, like all these convict surgeons. And you can see it's quite an active area with all these fish. And a very inquisitive mangrove jack. Here's another flathead. Didn't like me getting too close. Yeah, have a look at these two. I'll put the species on the screen for you. The first time I've seen these fish, and I think it's a male and a female, because often male and female fish have different coloration. But you can see the way, so I've slowed this down so you can see it. But they were just zipping around in circles, following out each other, and I wonder if it's, you know, their way of working out their partner or something like that. I know a lot of fish do things like that, like courtship dances. So yeah, they didn't care what was around them. They were just zipping around.
I'm about halfway along now. Haven't seen the white-barred goby that I'm looking for, but still a little bit of a stretch left. But there's a little rock island sort of submerged under there, so I'm going to check that out as well.
Now this rock island I'm approaching, it does change because it's, you know, there's lots of sand that gets moved around by currents, and tidal currents, but also when you get something like Cyclone Alfred, which comes along and changes everything, changes all the sand, the high spots and low spots. So that's just to show you, I did a little twist there to show you whereabouts the rock island, I call it a rock island even though it's underwater, wasn't as busy as normal because I think the sand has actually covered a lot more of the rocks. But like a year ago when I came here, these rocks were covered in fish, so worth checking out to see what's there. But there was a lot of bream, and you can see why. Near the fish gunning station, and the spear fishermen often go out to the reef, Kingscliff reef, and then when they bring their fish in, they gut them, and the bream do a pretty handy job cleaning up the scraps. So these are the pipes here of the fish gunning station. You can see just how many fish are surrounding that area, just waiting for the fishermen, or the anglers, to throw their scraps in the water. So it's they do quite a good job keeping things clean. Those fish there, I think, are some grunter fish. And here we've got a little toadfish. Even though they're everywhere, they're kind of cool to film. They've got these crazy orange eyes on them, and they let you get quite close. And here we've got some goatfish, some more goatfish. So I'll put the species name in the video here, but this was a species I hadn't seen before, so I got to check that off on my species identification book and say, hey, I've seen these before.
Well, that's Cudgen Creek. That's really nice. I'm going to actually swim for a bit more and see if I can find some white-barred gobies. Well, I've got a little bit of battery left, but yeah, if you come along here, make sure you come here at high tide or around the high tide mark. That's when you get the clearest water, and the currents will calm down a little bit. And yeah, you just don't want to come here if there's been heaps of rain the day before, because all the runoff will make the water murky. But otherwise, I mean, a lot of other places are affected by wind and waves, whereas this place isn't. It's quite protected, and yeah, it's a great spot for beginners too, because a lot of it's very shallow, and there's a lot of people around. You don't have to worry about sharks and stuff, because I mean, I guess they could come in here, but I've never seen one, and it's yeah, it's just a really peaceful place. So hope you enjoy. If you liked the video, make sure you give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below if you've been here, and let us know what fish you've seen. Thanks, see ya.
So I went to those deeper rocks just one more time, and look what I found. This is a zebra lionfish. Got to be one of the most spectacular fish in the water. I reckon the fins look like Japanese fans. So these guys will often hang around crevices and underhangs near rocks, but they're not as common as others. So if you find one, definitely don't touch them, because their spines are, you know, I think it'd be very painful, and even probably some paralysis too. But yeah, they're spectacular. And just to finish up, I just thought it'd be nice to show you what it's like. If you don't want to go all over the creek and you want to stay very close to shore, just get in near the fish gunning station, and let the current let yourself drift with the current down to the little beach. A lot of people do this. They just come to Cudgen Creek, they put their goggles on and their snorkel. They don't even kick, they let the current take them, and they just get to appreciate all the fish along the way. It really is a a beautiful place to go snorkeling, even if you're a beginner. G'day everyone, I just want to say thank you so much for all the support and engagement with the Gold Coast Seaway overview video I did recently. For my very little YouTube channel, it was pretty cool to see. At the time, I think I've got about 47,000 views. So for me, that's massive, and I'm so encouraged that so many of you enjoyed the content. So I've actually got more of this overview video content planned. There's this Cudgen Creek one. I'm going to do one on Tallabudgera Creek. I've already done the filming for that, so I'm going to put that together. I've got Tangalooma Shipwrecks I'm planning to do, which is going to be a cracker of a video because I know a lot of people love that spot for snorkeling. I've been there many times. And while I'm in Sydney, if the weather's good enough, I'm hoping to do some snorkeling at either Clifton Gardens, where there's some seahorses, or if the weather's good enough, maybe Shelley Beach at Manly, which is just an unbelievable spot. So more of this content to come. Now, if you really enjoy this content and you're looking for a way that you might want to support me in making this content, I'd really appreciate that. I do actually have a Buy Me a Coffee link. If you click on that link, that's a way that you can actually financially support me making this content. Yeah, I'd really appreciate that if you're able. And the other thing that's exciting coming up is I'm writing a book. And the book is actually going to be about all the common fish species you'll see on the east coast of Australia, near everyday cities and towns, like near Brisbane, near Sydney, where a lot of people live. I'm going to have a book with all these common fish species, talking about how you can find them, where to find them, how to swim with them and get the best experience with them, and all this information. So when you go snorkeling on your adventures, you can have this book with you and you can tick off which fish you've seen and look up, and I think it'll be a lot of fun. I've found that very beneficial for me with other books, and I wanted to make one specifically for the east coast of Australia. So keep an eye out for that. I'm actually probably most of the way finished with the book, but I'll, in time, show you that in my videos, and I'll put a link in the description below when it's ready, so that you can buy the book on demand from Amazon. So yeah, it's exciting things on the way. I've got to put in a bit more work to get it finished though. I'm getting pretty close. So yeah, that's on the way. More of these videos. I'm probably going to release once every month for these videos because they do take a while to do all the editing. It's I do everything with these videos myself, so it does take a bit of time. And the other thing, if you enjoy this content, easy way to support is just like the video, subscribe, and tell other people about it. That helps me out too. So yeah, thanks so much for your support, and I'm looking forward to giving you more of this content, and who knows, I might even see you in the water one day. All right, see you later.